What's going on, guys? It's Jake Camaro here with another episode of Initial Thoughts, and today we're going to be taking a look at Medal of Honor Warfighter, which was released last week on October 23rd, 2012. It was developed by Danger Close, published by EA, and it was released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and of course the PC. Now, before I get into this initial thoughts, I want to mention that this video that you're seeing in the background is actually two games, so it's going to fade to black in the middle. Don't exit the video. It'll keep going. The games usually, like in Team Deathmatch, which is what me and Ryan have been playing, they only last about 7 to 8 minutes, so we decided to put two in so we have enough time to talk about it. Ryan is not in this video. He has a lot of scheduling issues going on right now, but he says he'll try to get on for the Halo Comedy Vault Anniversary finale to our Flashback Friday Halo special next week. So let's just get into Medal of Honor Warfighter. So coming out immediately, I have to say that I actually really like this game. Over the past week, this game has not been getting very good reviews, but I'm going to be very unbiased and not talk about that at all, because I'm coming out exactly from my position on this game. There are some things wrong with it, but there's a lot of good things about it too, so we're just going to talk about that. So the first part I'm going to talk about is the campaign, and I've almost beaten the campaign. I've just been playing a lot of Forza Horizon to get some gameplay of that, and I'm hoping to have initial thoughts up of that tomorrow. But I've played almost all of it, and I've really enjoyed what I've seen. It's not a terribly long campaign, about 4.5 to 5 hours long, split into a handful of missions. But each mission is very distinct, very different. The locations are great, and the gameplay is really nice as well. Like, in the first mission, you have to put a bomb on a truck, then everything, like, blows up, and you have to get to this chopper, shoot down a chopper. There's some driving missions, a boat mission, a minigun segment, and just of course, shootouts. And I think that change in variety is really good, and the gameplay element of the campaign I really enjoyed. The story is a little weird. You have all the characters back from Medal of Honor 2010, but you've kind of left that Afghanistan like desert setting for like more rural locations across the world. And I actually really like this change of scenery. I just think that it really helps set the mood for the game. As the story goes, it's a little hard to follow at the beginning. It gets better. Basically, it's split into kind of like flashback sequences and then some like just scenes of the main character, Preacher, being like a civilian with some family struggles that he's going on with. And I actually really like the side storyline, and it kind of added like a human element into the Navy, into the Marines and SEALs and stuff. But the story is a little hard to follow sometimes, but towards the end, it's kind of wrapping up a little bit. The graphics are really good. This game runs Frostbite 2, the same as Battlefield 3, but they're very distinct, so somebody who really is into Battlefield and really into Medal of Honor, or somebody who just knows a lot about video games, will definitely be able to see that they're both running Frostbite 2, but I think for somebody who just picked this game up, maybe someone who's really not into video games just saw it because it looked cool, I don't think they're going to really be able to tell. I think Danger Close did a great job with distinguishing it from Battlefield 3, and I just think it really helps with the game. I definitely, while I was playing this, it felt different than Battlefield 3, not a ton different, but I think it did kind of have its own personality and distinction from Battlefield 3, and I really enjoyed that. I am playing on the Xbox 360 version, so it doesn't run at 60 frames per second, and there's not all those crazy graphical effects and all that. But I think for a 7-year-old console, I think this game did a great job for running on the Xbox 360. It's probably the same for the PlayStation 3, and of course I've seen some gameplay of the PC, and it just looks gorgeous. So if you have a PC, I would definitely recommend this game. It's as good as Battlefield 3 in terms of graphics, and of course Battlefield 3 is one of the best looking games out there. So if you want a game that really pushes your gaming PC to its max, I think you should definitely go and pick this game up. So the campaign I definitely really like. One more thing in terms of graphics. Couple interesting notes with the Xbox 360 version. For one thing, like I mentioned in the unboxing, it is on 2 discs, similar to Battlefield 3, and there's a campaign disc and a multiplayer disc, and when you go into the campaign disc, you're prompted with about a 1.7 gigabyte texture pack update. Now, I did not actually play this game before I installed the texture pack. I just installed it immediately before I started playing, and I think that the textures did look pretty good. I assume that it's similar to Battlefield 3, where in the campaign, if you look at an object without the texture pack, it looks very old, very little detail, and then you get a little bit more if you have the texture pack installed. It's not going to be huge, it's not going to be good as the PC version, but I think they did a good job with that. For somebody who only has a 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 Slim, or has a really old Xbox that doesn't even have a hard drive, this may be a little disappointing to you, and I think that the campaign is still pretty good to play without the texture pack, but if you want that extra detail in those close-up objects, I would definitely recommend installing it. So, next we're going to move on to the multiplayer. Now, the multiplayer is what we're going to be talking about for most of the time, because it's definitely what you're going to spend the most time in. There's no like co-op mode like there was in Battlefield 3, so there's basically just campaign and multiplayer. Campaign is okay, but once you finish it, because it's only 4.5 to 5 hours, the multiplayer is really where this game is going to show if it has much lasting appeal or not in terms of the amount of people playing it. As I was playing the multiplayer, of course this is the opening week, so there's lots of people playing it. Matchmaking times were relatively fast, and most of the games we joined were well populated, but of course we're just going to have to see as time moves on to see if a lot of people get this game, and kind of a strong community surrounds it. I think through the holiday season, if you're going to ask for this game for any of your holidays, I think that it's definitely going to be a good choice, and I think it's definitely going to be populated for at least 6 months, and especially with the Zero Dark 30 map pack coming out in December, it might have even more lasting appeal from there on. I don't know if there's going to be any more map packs, since this game did get a relatively low review score from IGN and GameSpot and all those reviewers. I don't know if they're going to have like a premium service like they did for Battlefield 3, but you might see a couple more expansion packs from there on out. So if you're looking for lasting appeal, I think for right now this game is definitely good. So the maps, there's quite a few different maps, and like Battlefield 3, they're different based on what game mode you're playing on. So right now we're playing on the map that was featured in the beta. I cannot remember the name of it, but as you can see, it's very different from in the beta because you're in a different location on it, and that's kind of across all the maps. Some parts are cordoned off for each location, and then of course some game modes, like I think like their rush type game mode, has you going from one side of the map to the other. So you're definitely going to be able to see the entire map that way. I believe the player cap is the same on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 as it is on the PC, so that's good for console players because you're not going to be seeing maps that are meant for PC then kind of scaled down. So there's no like Caspian Border or Karg Island in Medal of Honor Warfighter, and I really like this because you're able to find people pretty easily, and the games were definitely pretty frantic and fast, and I do like that. The game mode choices are pretty much a lot like Battlefield 3. There's a lot of objective game modes, and then there's also a team deathmatch-like game mode. One that me and Ryan actually liked playing in the very beginning was, I can't remember the name of the game mode, but it's basically a lot more real. There's very limited HUD. You do not have a mini-map, like you can't see when you're almost out of ammo, and there's friendly fire, and I actually really like that because it adds quite a bit of realism to this game, even though it has quite a bit of realism. And I really liked that. I think the game mode choices are pretty good, similar to Battlefield 3. You're going to be seeing some new game modes, but it's not going to be like Call of Duty, where it's just team deathmatch and objectives. You're going to see some pretty cool like bomb planting and capture and flag game modes. The weapon choice is pretty good. It's a little confusing at some points, and that's where I'm going to get into the kind of the progression of this game. So the weapons are pretty good. You've got your standard assault rifles, LMGs, SMGs, sniper rifles, pistols, and then for some classes you have a shotgun as a secondary, and then for other classes you have a shotgun as a primary. But I think the way you unlock the guns is a little confusing. So when you first start up multiplayer, you're going to be prompted to join a faction. So some countries will have more than one faction. They're kind of tied to different countries. So you're going to be seeing like the Navy SEALs, like I am, and the SAS, and just a bunch of different special forces from different countries. And I think that's really cool because most times, like if you're, it's basically in games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, it was pretty much the United States, and then a country like Russia, or a country that's portrayed as like the bad guys in the campaign. That was pretty much what you were fighting against. In this, you can really select your guy based on where you're from and what type of unit you like. For example, Ryan chose the United States Special Forces. I chose the Navy SEALs. So although we're both from the United States and we both have United States characters, they're pretty different, and the way we unlock stuff is a little different as well. But although I do like this progression where you can like choose your faction and stuff, I don't really understand the ranking up system. It's a little confusing. So when you start out, you get a gun based on what faction you are, and it's different for each like unit. Then as you rank up, you unlock more guns that come from different units, but the way you unlock it is a little weird because you can unlock one gun for playing on one faction, then you unlock everything else in a different order. You have some guns starting out, you have a different gun for the second gun you unlock. The attachments are really weird, and I just think that it's a little confusing. I kind of got used to it after a few hours of playing, but I think for somebody who's coming from Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty and really likes that kind of progression where you basically level up one of 4 classes or just one class, and you unlock some weapons based on how much you play that class, and it's very linear, and there's only 4 of them, and most people have the same unlocks at the same time, judging on the amount of time they've played. I think that this is definitely going to be a little confusing for them. So I do like what they're doing with it. I wish it would have been a little bit clearer, but I don't think it's a big deal, and I think it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. But after a while, I do think it kind of shines a little bit. Next, we're going to talk about just the classes. So there's a bunch of different classes. There's the point man, the demolition, the assaulter, the sniper, and I think there's quite a few more. So there's more than just 4 classes, and each class has their own special abilities. So the last game I was playing as the assaulter. He had his grenade launcher. Now I'm playing as the point man, and he has his AUG with the shotgun as secondary, and then he has high-powered ammunition that he can put on his primary. And then each class also has their own kill streaks. Now, in Medal of Honor, yes, there are kill streaks. It's quite a bit like Call of Duty because there were no kill streaks in Battlefield 3, but I think the way that they're used is pretty good. The kill streaks that you get are decided for you. You can't actually select them. They're based on what class you use. So like for the point man, I have like a UAV that I can deploy if I get a couple of kills, and then if I'm playing as the assaulter, I can choose from some mortars. So they're different based on what class you're playing. When you're playing the recon, they're very like stealth based. When you're playing the assaulter, there's like bombing runs and Black Hawks and stuff. So I definitely like that, and I think it's definitely balanced more than Call of Duty, where the class that you choose, the kind of kill streaks that you get are based on what you chose, and not just you get like a really good class with really good kill streaks. You could have like a class that you kind of sit in the back, then you have some kill streaks that'll help you in that regard. Finally, we're going to be talking about the like buddy system. Now, in Battlefield 3, you have the squad system, and in this you have the buddy system, and it's a little bit different. You can only have one person in like your squad, and you can spawn on them, but then you can also heal them and resupply them by pressing X right next to them, like I just did with Ryan. And I definitely like that. You're definitely there's a lot more teamwork involved than in Battlefield 3, but you can't heal yourself and resupply yourself at the same, like you can't resupply and heal yourself. There's no like med kits or ammo packs or anything like that. So you really have to stay close to your team and teammate, and I did like this. The thing I was a little disappointed about is that there is only 2 people in one buddy system. Of course, it's a buddy system, but I wish there would have been like a squad-based thing where like you're in a big squad, then there's 2 buddy systems and 2 squads, but then you can also like spawn on each other, or you have like a green outline to you like Ryan has to me. So, like, for example, when I'm playing with one of my friends who has this game and me and Ryan are playing, he's kind of the odd man out because he doesn't have anyone else to be in his squad. He's got some, like, random person online. Then me and Ryan are using all this teamwork, and it's definitely a little sad for him to, like, just be playing and not be able to get healed by us and not having that element of teamwork that the buddy system really adds. So I'm a little, I wish that they would have had, like, some sort of squad-based thing, but I think for 2 players, I think it's definitely really, really cool. So, should you get this game? I think that if you're into Call of Duty and you're into Battlefield and you really like that kind of tactical first-person shooter, I would definitely recommend this game. But if you're in for the campaign and not the multiplayer and the campaign, I would definitely consider just renting this because the campaign is very short and there is not a lot of replay value. There is some like achievements you can get, but no like collectibles or anything like that. So all in all, I think Medal of Honor Warfighter is a pretty good game, and I'm probably going to be playing it throughout the holiday season. So that pretty much brings me to the end of the video. If you like this video, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'm hoping to get my Forza Horizon initial thoughts video up tomorrow because I'm going to have the unboxing of Assassin's Creed 3 as well as Need for Speed Most Wanted. So I'll try to get that up then, and I hope that you'll enjoy that as well. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace out.